just go live without giving us any notice whatsoever because that's what Facebook does. We love you, Facebook. We love you, Facebook. We are live. 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 Good evening, people. Thank you for joining us today on Love Sales Hate Selling Facebook page, where I'll be interviewing the wonderful Caroline Vermeulen.
You clearly don't know me well enough to
You
say
know something? I actually pronounced it perfectly earlier, and now I forgot how to pronounce it again. Vermeulen. Vermeulen.
It's not even worth the effort.
Oh,
just don't even bother.
How do I pronounce it then? How do I pronounce it?
Well, it's supposed to be, because it's Dutch, the V is the F and you roll the R. So it's supposed to be Vermeulen.
Oh.
That sounds like blah, blah, blah. So just whatever comes out your mouth is fine. I used to sign my name Vermin when I used to work in the retail shops. I was like, just put Vermin. You can spell it, you can say it.
I'm never going to call you that. Right, sorry guys, we're just getting like, this is what Caroline's like. She distracts me terribly. But thank you for joining us today. And I'm joined by the wonderful Caroline.
Thank you for having me.
Of Mystery Hare.
No, this one, not this one.
No, it's a mystery why I have no hair. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us today, Caroline. It's been an absolute pleasure. I mean, I met you back end of last year, and
that's gone fast.
It has, and we've been inseparable ever since. Every now and again, we jump onto a call and we.
Remind me of your name again.
None of that. Right, so before we start, we have to do a pose for the algorithm. So, after 3, I want you to do your best Vogue pose. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
How long?
The cheesiest of cheesy grins. Oh dear, fantastic. Well, thank you. Absolute pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolute pleasure.
Well, it was lovely seeing you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Oh, you gone? Oh, right, so now Caroline's gone. I'm doing a training session. No, obviously, I know you're a busy lady, so I'll tell you what. Let's dive in, and then if we've got time, we can have a debrief afterwards.
Ooh, always.
So let's get this party started. Caroline,
yes,
can you tell the people watching what you do for a business?
I'm still trying to figure out my elevator pitch. So it's different every single time that I say what I do. But in the most basic way, it is branding and graphic design. So visual communication and branding. I don't know. You see, I'm even changing it now. I've given you 2 answers.
Visual communication and branding. Well, I tell you what, for those people who don't kind of get branding, because branding can mean about 5 different things to 5 different people. Give us a bit of an overview of what your branding or what branding should be.
So I think we've been going down this path for a long time, but a lot of brands are starting to understand that it's more than just a logo. And that's been around for ages. It's not just a logo. It's also a set of values and a set of criteria that you put towards a brand. So it would be a brand identity or logo. It would be the types of fonts that you choose, the brand colors that you select. But most importantly, the way that I do it is I base it on a set of core values for medium to larger size business. And what that is your brand personality for a small business owner. And it's basically just putting your human, what are the words? Like your humanisms forward so that you can connect on a deeper level.
Gotcha.
That's the worst answer.
No, that's a good idea. That's a great answer. But I'll tell you what you could do. Give us an example of a brand that people will know where they clearly have a brand message.
Yes, there's loads. I mean, the most obvious one is Apple, because they have, I don't know if I was talking to you about this earlier or talking to someone else, But anyway.
It weren't me.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. So you won't be bored with me saying it again. But they've obviously got an ethos. I mean, everyone studies it. They've got Simon Sinek and the Why, and he talks about Apple as a company. They've got followers instead of customers. They've got advocates, and it's not just them. That they're not the only clever marketing people in the world. I mean, Coca-Cola on a smaller scale. I mean, they make a lot of money, but they also have a vibe about them. So it's all about energy. And then Christmas, we're all looking for the polar bears.
Yeah. Or presents.
Yes. I mean, one that I really love, and every brand will do this, is that there's a cosmetic brand called Urban Decay.
Okay, I've heard of them.
I'm trying to look for any of my leftover boxes lying around. But they've got their color palette is purple. And you'll see by the choices of models that they select, they're very much about the fringe culture. So people with lots of tattoos, different sexual preference people. So the LGBTQ community is widely used as their models. So they're edgy, they're rebellious, they're also really creative, and they're breaking the rules all the time. So that's one where they lead with their personality, basically. And everything enhances that. And that's kind of the way that branding is going as a whole, is to make your bond and start a relationship with people by putting your personality forward, and then you just have a richer and longer lasting relationship with your clients that way.
So that's why you'll see, for argument's sake, Instagram's probably a good example where you'll see a branded theme on their tiles.
Oh yeah, like their color tile.
So they'll have the same type of image with the same type of filter and the same type of colours to kind of get that consistency with how they're portrayed. Fantastic answer.
If you're really clever as a brand owner, so as a business, if you really understand your brand, then you will nail the Instagram tiles right away, because you'll understand that you've got your main color palette for your branding, your assets, the where your logo goes, etc. But you'll also have a deep dive into the type of photography style that will also enhance your branding. So that's what a lot of successful Instagram pages, that's because they know their brand inside and out, and they know exactly even the style of photography, and you'll see there's like a specific style. I'll have certain type of people, maybe they're going more towards the models, or maybe they'll go towards more of like natural photos where it doesn't look like a stock image. So there's loads of little nuances. I love it.
Oh, fantastic. Guys, I know you have just been given a golden nugget there, so I hope you're taking notes.
Oh, what nugget did I give? I don't even know. I need to take that down.
The thing is, you're always giving nuggets and you don't realise. So.
I don't even know it. So wise.
So that's a brilliant explanation, and to be fair, it's a great explanation, and I think that gives a lot of clarity around what branding is. But so I mean, what inspired you then? I mean, why branding? Why Mystery Hare?
Okay, well, I don't really have an answer for Mystery Hare, because I was just drawing a rabbit and I was like, oh, that'll be okay. So there's no like magic story. That's
amazing.
And now I'm like, oh, well, I might as well keep it, because I don't know what else to call myself.
Honestly, it's a fantastic name, because it does make you kind of think, well, you want to know the story behind it, and now you've just said there's no story behind it. It's like,
I know. I need to make one up. I mean,
you need to make a story up.
I do. I have always been fascinated with Alice in Wonderland and the whole craziness behind that. So I think there's probably something like that, but it's all really deep in my subliminal, because I have no real story. It's really boring. And then branding. I was always creative growing up. I always loved to draw and do art. And then I also really like earning money. So I didn't want to be a poor starving artist. And I also really hate like the creative stuff, like pottery and painting. It all gets under your nails and it's all dirty.
Oh yeah, I have that problem all the time.
I can't be dealing with it. Like computer-based stuff, I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah, fantastic. So it's your creativity that drove you towards going down the branding route. And
yeah, I think so. I mean, lucky that I knew what I wanted to do from a very early age. I knew I loved art. I knew I loved drawing, and I wanted to do that in some aspect for a job. And luckily enough, you know, when the age that I was, graphic design was recognized as a career, and I just kind of went down that path.
Fantastic.
And I love it. I'm such a nerd about it.
And what was the kind of catalyst for you to say, I can do this for myself, I don't need to?
Well, I mean, you make it sound like it was a super positive decision.
Wasn't it?
No, basically it was a result of health and burnout that I was like, I don't want to work for anyone else.
Yeah. Oh yes, we've all been there.
Prison, the chains around my ankles to work 9 to 5.
Yeah, working 9 to 5.
Yeah, it was not like the song. I think it was difficult juggling having a small child at the time. And it was a real struggle actually getting pregnant with her because of endometriosis. So all of that stuff kind of is difficult. It drains your energy, and even all the time trying to get pregnant and couldn't get pregnant, and then we did get pregnant, and then having to like rush off to nursery, race off to the job, then do that in reverse, and a full-on busy day.
Yeah.
So I just decided it isn't good for my health. I can't sustain this energy, and I also want the freedom to be there for my family, for my daughter, at a drop of a hat, to be like, oh, I've got to go watch this play for the 3rd time, and she doesn't even care. She's like, where's Daddy? And I'm like, seriously.
Honestly,
I'm so glad.
Kids are mercenaries, aren't they?
Oh, seriously, they're the devil's spawn.
So basically, for you, it was a case of, you know, enough is enough is enough. I can't go on working for the man. I need to have more time back so I can make my own plan.
Yeah.
And that's what you've done. Hey, that's a poem. Oh my God.
I think a lot of people have done that, haven't they? Because I mean, small businesses have taken over, really. There's so much more small businesses than there are corporations.
Well, I think with what we've gone through, a lot of people have realised that the man don't care too much.
Nah.
And the man, if he wants to make some money, what he does is he cuts his highest expense, which is normally staff. So, you know, I'm not saying that all companies are the same, but I always say to anyone who's got a job, always keep one eye on the road, because you never know when your time's going to be up.
Good advice.
Well, corporate, it's all about profit, isn't it? The biggest way to make more money is to get rid of staff.
I think they also have, there's a lot of downsides to corporation as well, because I mean, I've worked in large businesses. I've been in in-house design studios, and they just can't react quick enough to change in the world. Yeah, it's like steering a massive ship, and which it is. It's like a lot of people, a lot of processes, and you can't just. And a
lot of meetings to make one decision.
Oh my word! And meetings, yeah. Oh, and the office politics.
Don't even go. I actually do miss office politics.
No more drama.
No, the thing is, I've done a part of it, but it's always fun to watch. You know, you get your popcorn. No,
but I was always in it. I think this is the problem.
Oh, all right, fair enough. Swiftly moving on.
Yeah.
So, tell us about some of the challenges you had to overcome with the business. I mean, obviously you had to set it up, and you know, what were some of the challenges that you faced?
Well, I mean, the big one was obviously being diagnosed with endometriosis, not knowing what it was, and then saying, is it cancer? And then realizing, oh, it's not actually as bad as it.
Oh, bless you.
Googling, it's not cancer. So I was like, oh my God, what's happening? I'm dying.
Oh,
so dramatic.
Bless. Well, no, I mean, the thing is, if you're going through something, you know, we've all got a mind, and unfortunately the mind will. Well,
you search anything on Google, it's always cancer. Of
course, it will come with its own conclusion. It will, you know, it will tell you anything it wants, and it's down to you to either say, oh, you're talking rubbish, or you know, to go to the doctors. And so obviously that was the big challenge. Was there anything else with what about the kind of day-to-day and getting customers?
Well, I think when I started, I was too scared to take a full plunge. So what I did is I was contracted. So I did shorter hours. I think it was like 10 to 3 or something. And I did that for a year or two, I think, and that was really good. But the pay was rubbish. And then I also dealt with a really angry Scotsman who would swear at me on a daily basis. And I was
Scotsmen aren't angry.
Oh my word! My dad was a Scotsman. I think.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm not going to judge him. I'm going to go in with an open mind. And then this guy was just as bad. So I was like, seriously, I need to find some friendly Scotsmen like Billy Connolly.
I remember I worked at a company once, and there was a Scottish guy there, and when he spoke, he just sounded angry.
I know, it's the accent.
Well, he wasn't angry though, but he used to make it. So we'd all have a drink in that, and he'd always say, "I love the English," and he didn't actually sounded like he loved the English. It always sounded like he should have changed the word "love" for "eight." He's like, "I love the English."
I do love the attempt at the Scottish accent. That was entertaining. Thank you.
I'm not renowned for. I'm pretty good at West Indian.
Yeah.
But, everything else is just like, yeah. I'll just say.
You're going to give us like a demonstration of that?
Would you like some Beerkhan?
Oh, word.
No, that was awful. No, this show is not about me and my
borderline.
It's about you. It's about you.
Yeah. So when I decided to go in full-time work for myself, the other added challenge was we were moving around quite a lot to help my husband to develop his career.
Yeah.
And so we moved every year for about 3 years. And so as I just started gaining traction on my business, even though it's a computer-based business, you still have to do the legwork. You still have to make relationships, create bonds, gain trust. And so for a good 3 or 4 years, I didn't really get anywhere. And it's tough to feel like it's working when you're like, I got to start this level.
Got to start again. Yeah. I suppose even with moving, it's such a kind of stressful thing that it's.
And it takes time, and then you have, I'm the flexible one, so I'm the one who has to put my work to one side, get everything ready to move.
Yeah.
But now we've been in Norwich for over 3 years now, and quite recently I've started gaining some real momentum to the business. Yeah.
And you say you're in Norwich. Are you in the centre of Norwich, or are you on the outskirts?
Yeah, pretty close to the centre. Actually, the city centre is super walkable. If it's a speed walk, about 7 minutes, an amble about 12. It's like super close.
I know Norwich well. I mean, we've got family over there, and I've got to be honest, it is one of the most beautiful counties
and
in
sleepy.
the UK.
It's not very cosmopolitan.
No, it is sleepy. But I kind of like that because it reminds you of days gone.
Not that sleepy. Cheaper. Actually, no, it is.
Put it this way, where the relatives live, I think it's 3 miles to the nearest shop. So yeah, it's sleepy. In fact, they've even got a private airfield just over the way.
Wow!
It's beautiful. But like I said, when I come up to Norwich next, I'm coming to visit you.
Yes.
So
the pace of life is definitely getting used to. Because I didn't live and work in London, but I was in Reading, which is like a spit away from London.
Might as well be London, but yeah.
Yeah, and stuff gets done, right? And here you're lucky if a printer will even pick up a phone. And I'm like, what is happening? I was like, yeah, it's fine. We'll get
Are they still using fax machines over there?
I think there's more fax machines than there should be. That's for sure.
We've had a few comments coming. Before we go to the comments, I just wanted to. We'll ask one more question actually. So, tell us one thing about you that not many people know.
Now, this was a tough one because you sent me the questions before, and I couldn't come up with anything apart. And I think everyone knows everything about me. This is the problem: is I don't shut my mouth. But I think. I overshare. I think the things I can think of is I really love Jessica Fletcher, Murder, She Wrote.
Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
Murder, She Wrote. Murder, She Wrote.
Not as cool as that. And then I also have not a huge, but I've got a semi-large collection of pop vinyls. And they're all, and I have a Jessica Fletcher pop vinyl doll.
Oh, wow.
And I also am obsessed with Die Hard. So
Die Hard?
Yeah.
The film?
Yeah, Bruce Willis would get it if I saw him in real life.
Hold on.
He would be crying home to his mother.
When you say, so is it Die Hard or the Die Hard series?
All the Die Hard films.
So basically Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
No, they're good films. I mean, John McClane, wasn't it? Very good film. I don't know about the last one, but I think it was his son.
Yeah, the last one, I mean, I'll accept it because he's in there. But seriously, like a helicopter goes into a tunnel, and I'm like, just have a rest now because it's just one thing after another. No, but Die Hard 1 is obviously the best.
Absolutely, great film. Right, we have a few comments coming. Let's see what's. Hi, Mandy. Hope you're well. Hey, Natasha Gordon. Hope you're good.
Hi, Mandy and Natasha.
Good evening, Mandy. Hey, Natalie Hurdley. Hey, Natalie, you're one of our top fans. Great.
Welcome, Natalie.
Paul Collins. Hey, Paul. Hope you're well, mate. Is it a Christmas film? A Die Hard?
Yes, it is. Of course it is. Don't even get me started on the debate. Oh, my word. Did you not see the Santa hat?
Of course, yeah.
I'm going to get my pop vinyl dolls in a minute and show you the Santa hat.
It is very much
Obviously a Christmas film.
A festive movie. Paul said his wife says no one wears a white vest like Bruce.
Yeah, I'd watch her because I think her and I would definitely roam if Bruce Willis came to town.
This is not a Bruce Willis appreciation interview.
It should be. It definitely should be.
And if you're talking about Bruce Springsteen, I can't stop a fire. Oh, fantastic! You see, you're as bad as me. So, if there was someone of crazy mind who decided that they were going to start a business right now, I've heard you talk about, that branding, man. I'll tell you what, I'm going to start with. What advice, what are the 3 kind of top tips that you'd say to them that they need to make sure or ensure that
top 3 tips? I mean, there's so many tips. First of all, it's a really, it seems like a strange thing to say, but it's a really good time to start a business because everyone has embraced the technology of online. I mean, we're doing it now, we're chatting now online, and it was really needed. I mean, I used to really struggle with, I'd send people designed something or other on a PDF and I would explain to them, oh, you can put markups on the PDF. There's little post-it notes and everything. Super easy. And people are like, oh no, I can't be bothered. And it would drive me mad because it's like, it's the easiest thing in the world. Just like, put the thing on the thing. And, and now because people have had to, they've had to get on board and learn the stuff that they didn't have to before. It's so much easier to reach people on a personal level.
And educate them.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if you can get somebody on the screen and you're showing them what you do, they're learning something.
Yeah.
They're actually learning a skill which they can then put into the memory bank. Say, I know how to do that now. I'm all about markup.
That was one of my tips.
Oh.
No, it's good. Because you're on my wavelength, which might be sad for you, but now is a great time to pick up some skills. I mean, the one that I use quite a lot is creativelive.com. It's pretty much like Skillshare, except I think the videos are a bit older, but all of the stuff is still super relevant. It's still, it's not like you're looking at something thinking, oh, well, that's like the oldest computer in the world. The stuff is still, you can still take a lot on board. I think if you arm yourself with a lot of skills, get to grips with what do you want to do, why do you want to do it, because motivation and passion are going to get you through a lot of hard times. I think if you're in something for the money, that's fine, but when the hard times come, you're going to struggle to get past that little hiccup. And obviously, I mean, branding is going to help you as a small business to define who you are and where you want to go. So don't think of branding as just a logo. Think of it as sitting down with someone and defining your goals, because I mean, the way that I do design is I want to try and future-proof the brand identity for as long as possible, while still knowing that every business, every person evolves. So don't be scared to upchange your logo, because even the act of evolving your logo or even completely redesigning your logo later, that can be a lot of marketing material to tell your story again, get people excited again. So don't be scared to make those mistakes. The other tip is you get what you pay for. So if you get a logo from Fiverr, you might be sharing that logo with about 20 other people, and some of those businesses might not be as reputable. Just think, if it costs £5 or whatever it is for a logo, where are they cutting corners? Because they're obviously got to make money as well.
Yeah, it's
a difficult one.
I mean, the thing is, these services spring up for a reason, and they spring up to accommodate those business owners who perhaps don't recognize the power in spending
they're not even ready. They're not ready to invest that deeply into something, because it's quite scary to commit yourself to, like, okay, I'm going to go for this look and feel, and I'm going to go for this like direction of growth, and I don't actually know what I'm doing because it's super at the beginning. Then that's fine, and you can even You can even just have a typeface as a logo.
Yeah.
Even if you just choose, the colors that represent you and slightly ahead of where you're heading towards, and a typeface that does the same. Did I say that? Color and typeface.
Yeah,
that's a strong enough branding logo to get you somewhere. And
have you got any of what you're saying? Have you got any videos anywhere that people can kind of access and read? Or
yes, you're very good at this. It's almost like you knew the answer when you asked it.
I like you, Caroline. Listen, what I'm gonna get you to do, I'm gonna get you to drop all of your links into the comments.
Good idea. But yeah,
then,
but otherwise join my group, because I've got a Facebook group called Small Business Branding. I will give you all of the details. But yeah, I go in there every week.
Am I in that?
I think so. Are you?
I better be.
Clearly, you're not watching any of it, because I do one every week.
Well, girlfriend, we'll be having words, me and you.
So I'll be having words with you.
Paul wants to know, how do you protect your intellectual property?
Yeah, so this is a tough one. So copyright is pretty much, everyone has copyright. Stick a copyright symbol on your website, but everyone knows you don't rip off somebody else's work. That's a safe thing. If it comes to any kind of legal stuff, then it might be slightly harder. So trademarking is the way to legally protect your work, but that costs $1. Yes. And if you're right in the beginning of your building your business and working for yourself, I don't really think that it's worth the money, because then let's say, for instance, you get a logo from Fiverr, and then you have to pay £600-700 to trademark it. It's first of all,
I think, I mean, this is just my own opinion, so please no one throw eggs at me or anything, but I think at the early stage of your business, if you're talking about trademarks and stuff before you've even got customers, then you're in the wrong place as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you kind of what's the saying, ass behind horse or something, or cart.
Yeah, it's like, and this is the kind of thing what some business owners do. They spend that much time on the faff and all the kind of stuff which isn't going to do much for them.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they're too small. You're too small to be ripped off, really. Yeah. Start worrying about stuff like that when you're large enough to hire.
Yeah, when you got customers in, money's coming in, you can
because then you got more service. You got more to protect that way. You've got then they become real and true assets, and then you're doing a lot of things, not just protecting your work, but otherwise, stick a copy. I mean, I stick a little copyright symbol on my website. I don't clutter all my work up, but I just know that if somebody copies my work, I normally have evidence that I've created it from scratch, if it's scribbles or emails or whatever. And then
has it happened to you before, Ben?
Huh?
Has it happened to you before?
No. Oh. So I haven't even. I mean, I've even got a copyright for dummies book, so I can look, so I can research. And then I was like, it's not really that part of my career where I have to worry about that. Because I work with small business owners, so I don't think that we're in a boat to really get too hung up with law and stuff. So on the whole, you should be protected by copyright anyway. And actually a tip is, maybe if you wanted your domain name, perhaps protect that by buying variations. So especially if it's, I mean, I should probably do it for Mystery Hare, because I've got mysteryhare.com, which is my website, but I've also bought .co.uk. Because if somebody with more money than me bought that name, then I'd have to rename myself. So that's probably more important.
I mean, I've got a situation myself where I've got a domain name up for renewal, and it's a .co.uk. I didn't actually do anything with it. It's not even forwarding, and I'm like, oh God. So I need to
more admin.
More admin, more money that has to be spent.
That was a really good question. Thank you, Paul. And seriously, watch your wife, because she is definitely going to leave you for Bruce Willis.
Paul, man, honestly, don't listen to her, mate. Don't listen to her.
Paul, worried.
Paul also said that skills pays bills.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's even just a confidence builder, because you have to go on this journey to realize okay, I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly keeping up with the world, because the world's ever changing, so I'm never going to know 100% of everything. but I've made an effort to learn some of the stuff along the way. And then you can find out more about your comfort zone, and it just gives you that level of confidence, if nothing else. And that will also just, it'll radiate off you, and it'll be helpful when you explain your work. But yeah, I'm always doing courses. I think it's because I was really crap at school. And now I'm like, hey, I don't have to learn geography or math.
About knowledge.
It's all about design. And
well, I suppose. I mean, I was having a conversation with one of my network over in Japan. I mean, we get together every 2 weeks, 8 o'clock in the morning. I think it's 5 o'clock over there, and he's on a real trajectory at the moment. In fact, he's been on a trajectory for the last 12 months, and we were talking about the journey, and that's the bit that people don't kind of see. So what they see is they see a shiny ball, and the shiny ball says, hey, if you buy me and you press this button, you'll be a millionaire. So what people go, oh wow, so they buy the shiny ball, and then they end up with, I don't know, 4,000 videos and so on and so forth, all of the tools to do what needs to be done. But because they haven't done it as a journey, that's where it normally ends, because we
don't see the journey, do you?
They've got all of this, they're thinking, oh my God, I've got to do all of this stuff to get started to make the money. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm going to look for something else instead. And it's the journey which builds the business. And
that's where you make all your mistakes and do your best learning.
And then at the end of it, we see all the successful people who are like, yeah, I'm great. When I say 2 words, I get money. But what we haven't seen is where they struggled, where they did post on social media.
Well, the best example is again with Apple. I mean, Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. Like, how crap do you have to be for everyone to just vote against you and say, you know what, you're gone,
brother.
You need to leave. And they're like, what? But it's my stuff.
It's my company.
I do love the analogy of your goal being a destination, and then you plot your journey and how to get there. And a journey is never going to be a straight line. It's going to be a whole bunch of different things. And if one thing isn't working, don't worry, because you're either going to push through that or you're going to pivot and take a journey a different way.
Absolutely.
I think we put too much pressure on ourselves. I can say that now because, now I'm getting work. But a year ago, I would have been like, oh, I'll take anything.
Yeah. and I think that's what it is. People do forget that, Rome was not built in a day.
Yeah.
I don't know many businesses within my kind of circle where they've set up and then overnight they became rich. They've had to learn, they've had to make mistakes, they've had to get things wrong, they've had to make more money some months. And it's that perseverance and knowing that
that's
what
why you need your passion.
Right thing.
You need your passion to motivate you through the tough spots, because it's nothing worse than being sworn at by a Scotsman down the phone because you put a full stop in instead of a comma. It's like, dude, chill.
Paul Collins, you are a superstar. Yeah, Paul, I ride a motorcycle. It's the journey, not the destination, but you do get wet on the journey.
Please tell me he wears like really short denim shorts when he's on his motorbike, because I would pay to see.
I'm gonna pass, as I'm not aware what Paul wears when he's on his bike.
You can't wear that in this country. You've got to wear leathers.
But I will say he's definitely worth connecting with, as Paul helps business owners set up their own online networking.
Oh wow!
And
actually, I'm doing a website now for a social networking site.
Excellent. Well, speak to him, connect with him.
I was writing down Paul Young. What's his name?
Wherever I lay my head.
Wait, Collins. Okay, I've got it. I will find the stalk you.
That was my dad's favourite song. I've got no idea why. Anyway,
I met him in real life, and I thought he was a shoplifter.
No.
Because he looked super scrappy. So I was like following him around. At the time I was working the Entertainer, and I was like, can I help you, sir? So letting the shoplifter
You worked at the Entertainer.
Oh yeah, I was a supervisor, babes. I went up to him, was like, can I help you? Just letting him know that I'm aware of your presence and our eyes on you. And then one of my colleagues came and said, that's Paul Young. I was like, shit. I was following him, like thinking he's going to shoplift.
Oh man. And Paul also says, I think he's saying, no, I don't wear little jeans.
I think in my head he does.
I value my safety. It's quite funny actually, because we did a live and he came on with his wife's login and it says Pamela. I kept calling him Pamela. And it was like only on weekends, and he didn't understand why I was saying it until he watched the video back and realised that his wife's name was on the screen. Paul, you're a superstar, mate. So, young Caroline's going to get in touch with you, mate, because she might be able to.
I'm going to stalk you big time.
Yeah, excellent. God, I can't believe that we've been on here for over 30 minutes.
I can believe it. I'm a talker.
Well, I think me and you together are just trouble anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be honest with you. Is there anything that the people watching, the group, the members, is there anything that they can do to help you right now?
I was thinking on this actually, and I think I'm getting to the point in my business where I'm starting to see a real benefit in getting like a VA. But I don't want to do it in the traditional sense of it. I've been desperate for about 10 years now to mentor specifically not a young black girl like I'm dating her. I feel it sounds sleazy. like a college student, but specifically a black female, because it's just not enough females in the graphic design industry and not enough females of color. So when I say black, you know, just someone of color. I'd love to mentor, but I want to pay them to work for me, and I can mentor them, and then they can hopefully do the admin side to start, but also have an interest in design. I don't know. It isn't a fully thought out plan.
Is it gonna be location dependent?
Well, I shouldn't have thought so, because I mean, I don't want anyone coming here and spreading their COVID.
No, I'm just thinking, would they need to be like in the Norwich area? I mean, the thing is,
I'm quite open to internet based, because I kind of get it. My job is internet based. Oh, is there somebody there?
No.
Can I interview them now?
No.
It's so quick.
My door just opened and like someone walked in. I was like,
"You're hired."
I will keep my ear to, and guys, if you're listening, if you've got anybody within your
experience,
your sphere, your network is looking to get into graphic design, wants a bit of experience. Caroline rightly says there's not enough people from other ethnicities within graphic design, and she's on a mission to change that. And
maybe that's my wrong opinion because I'm in Norwich and not in London, but as far as I know, all the design conferences, there was a severe lack of different cultures.
There. And yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I mean, you're in the industry, so you're seeing what's going on. But most certainly, if anyone can help Caroline in that aspect or signpost, I'll keep my ear to the ground. I always, you know, I've got a few connections, you know.
It's not who you know, or is it?
Absolutely. Right. So I think we're about to wrap up. Paul says, "Thank you, Caroline. Great, thanks." He appreciated your jokes about his jeans on his motorbike. Bruce Willis, and telling him his wife's going to run off with Bruce Willis. I mean, good grief.
She's gone. Pauline, honestly, out of here.
Guys, I told you she was trouble. Fantastic. Right, so people, thank you so much for watching. I know I keep saying this every week, but if you've watched it till the end, if you do #replay, I'm actually off tomorrow because it's my birthday.
Oh, I forgot to say happy birthday! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Clearly, I'm not a musician. I got confused by the time.
I actually prefer 50 Cent's version. Shorty, it's your birthday. We're going to party like
it's birthday. You're so streets, bruh.
You know me, I got to be down with the youths, man. Well, people, thank you so much for joining us. If you've watched it till the end, do me a #replay. I promise over the weekend, I'm going to go through all the videos that I've said this, #replay, and everybody who's put #replay is going to get a prize. I'm going to create the prize this weekend.
I'm putting #replay.
You don't need no prize.
I'm going to create the prize
over the weekend, and I'm going to get it out to you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Caroline, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Nigel.
And love sales, hate selling people. Have yourself a wonderful Thursday night. And I'm off tomorrow. If you want to speak to me, you can.
Happy birthday.
Birthday boy.
21 again.
Oh, how did you know?
Plus another 21.
Oh, get lost. I'm 35 plus VAT. Anyway, so we're gonna leave on that note as Caroline is adding ages to me, and Thank you for joining us, and we shall catch up with you next week, Tuesday. We are interviewing the one and only Jennifer Major.
Who is this Jennifer? How
Jennifer
dare she?
Major is
I'm
an
jealous.
awesome lady.
I will be stalking Jennifer Major.
Is a stickler is a stickler for time, and if you're late, she lets you know about it. So
it's rude. Don't be late.
We will be starting at 1 minute to 11 next week. Actually, no, it's 5:30, so it's about the same time. So we're going to go. Caroline, don't go anywhere. We're going to have a quick debrief. Guys, thanks for joining us. Remember, #replay. You'll get a prize next week. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of the week. And I'll catch up with you all next week. Take care, people. Speak to you soon. Bye.